Welcome to Totally Off Track with Vern and Paige.
Hi everybody, I'm Vern.
And I'm eating an ice cream sandwich.
She is eating an ice cream sandwich. I would eat an ice cream sandwich too, but I've already met my ice cream quota for today. We're back with Totally Off Track. We're a comedy, in case you guys haven't listened, or if you've forgotten, we are a comedy podcast that discusses hypothetical situations, social issues, philosophical issues. Right off the bat, all those things. Mm-hmm. Right off the bat, I'm sorry, I got a sudden burst of energy just now.
Good.
I'm just,
for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Take it away, Vern.
Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. Anyway, we are going to go ahead and start off and apologize for the lack of episode last week. We had a little bit of a hoopla happen to us recently. The 1 week we were going to record, and I was sick and I had no voice.
And
Paige was totally good with us going ahead because she thought not being able to hear me talk would benefit the podcast.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I insisted through text that the show goes on with my voice.
Yes, and so one of the reasons we ended up not recording is because I'm a resident assistant, and we've had 2 weeks of solid training from like 8:30 in the morning to, well, technically around 6:30 every night, but really
6:30 in the morning.
6:30 in the morning. So I mean, like, we've just been really busy, but in that time, a lot has happened. So,
a hypothetical situation was in the rotation. We were going to do a hypothetical situation. We were going to do that this episode. We have decided since that in light of the world around us, that we should put that on the back burner for a split of a second and maybe cover that next week.
Yes.
But for now, we're going to do like a Gus kind of catching up with Paige and Vern, what we've been doing, and kind of catching up with the world at large, and just kind of a mixed bag. Just a mixed bag of things. And there's a ghost in the Totally Off Track studio right now.
Yeah, the very... You okay? You good? Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if I was supposed to be louder.
No, well, you're not. But you're good.
Can we say that it's a very well-dressed ghost?
Yeah, it's a very well-dressed ghost who stumbled into our very exclusive studio, which may or may not be the lounge.
To be fair, even though we had padlocks, we locked the recording studio. It's ghost.
She's a ghost, so she is able to come through.
Matter.
Yeah. You good? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Awesome.
We're just gonna be watched by ghosts.
All right. So we're gonna be watched by a ghost for a little while. But I'm gonna quickly throw in here before we decide to get into all of the stuff we're going to cover, some of which is kind of heavy. That
Heavy is right.
We are people who deal with sadness through humor. So if you find any of our jokes offensive because of the really like heavy stuff that's been happening recently, don't, or do be offended.
Don't get offended.
Do be offended, but don't say I didn't warn you, because I just did just now.
And our goal is not to demean or make fun or make light. It's just we're just trying to put things in context in terms that we can understand.
Yes, that is.
And normally I would want to stray away from this sort of thing, but because it's close to home and because it's something that is kind of bothersome, I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about anyway.
Yes. So,
that voice.
Oh, and one more thing before we get into our stuff. Two more things before we get into our stuff. One, we don't have a guest today, as you may have noticed. We didn't introduce anyone. That's just because of reasons. Except for our ghost. Our ghost is kind of hanging out. But who knows how long she'll be around.
Even though we did have the half ghost of Willie Nelson and Johnny Cash on here, half ghost of Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson's still alive. Even though we had the half ghost, our microphones can only pick up half ghosts. They can't pick up full ghosts. So that's why the audio is not working as far as the ghost goes.
Right. Oh my god. Okay. And then the other thing that I quickly want to go through before we get into our thing is Avery is so cool.
Avery's totally cool.
Avery is our audio engineer, as we're calling him, and we love him. So thank you, Avery, for being so cool. All right.
Avery's cool.
Let's get into topics then. Maybe as we talk, our ghosts will not stare at us much longer. I'm hoping that they have ghostly things to get
The ghosts
to.
multiplied. Though we like the ghosts. And
Stop throwing things at me, you poltergeist.
And then though a ghost just inhabited a roll of toilet paper and launched itself at us.
I'm upset.
Like beyond two souls in here. Anyway.
Okay. Oh God! Please
oh my
stop.
God! Oh, Eve.
Yes. So, topics. Okay. Now that we've been silly, we're gonna talk about the riots in Ferguson. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, Totally Off Track is based out of St. Louis, and we're not in an area that's very close to Ferguson at all.
We're about what? 15 miles? 10 miles?
Something like that.
Maps?
Maps, things. It's north of us, and we're a good, 15 or 20 minutes away. Right? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not experiencing any of the problems. However, a lot of people that we know go to our college, they live there, or they have friends who live there, or we know people who...
It affects
who
us
live
because
there.
literally every single person that's in the state of Missouri is talking about it right now. Literally,
Yeah.
not only that, but a good percentage of the entire United
Nation.
States in the world is talking about this. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's, it's a topic. It's a thing we've experienced. We were near.
Yeah. So we're not really here, I'm assuming. I mean, I'm not really here, at least, to pick any sort of side.
Oh, no.
Because the way that I feel about things is that we don't really know what happened. We'll never totally get the full story. That being said, I'm very much against shooting innocent people, or really shooting anyone, ever, for any reason.
Unless it's with a water gun.
Right.
And it's
or a Nerf gun.
Summertime.
And it's a zombie.
And yeah. You can shoot a zombie with either a water gun or a Nerf gun.
Or a Nerf gun.
Or
that
you can
should stun them for a little while.
Yeah. That's the only kind of shooting I'm cool with.
Right. But actually though, and I'm sure that we'll probably cover things like the death penalty and stuff like that later on.
It's gonna be fun, guys.
It'll be super fun, and you guys just look out. But
it's gonna be a killer podcast.
Oh no, I can't say that. I was about to say it's gonna be a riot, and then I
Oh
was like, oh
God, oh.
I feel really bad about that.
Oh.
I'm very sorry. I am so sorry.
It wasn't until
Apologies.
we recently did a podcast on violence in the media, and it wasn't until afterwards and after I listened to it that I kind of regretted doing that podcast. This one I'm already there.
Already there.
I'm already there.
I already feel the regret. But no. So, Vern, what do you think about this topic? Or better yet, would you like to explain the situation to our listeners who may not have heard about it because they've been very busy with
Life
okay. And homework?
I'm going to give the very abbreviated version of it because not all the facts are out there, and it's really hard to get reputable information on this. So the very abbreviated version of this was someone was shot.
Yes.
By a police officer.
A young black male was shot.
Yes.
Or if you prefer, a young African American male was shot.
He was shot by a police officer
who was not of that race.
Who is not of that race. Regardless, he was shot, and he was shot multiple times. And
was it 10?
6. The autopsy revealed that it was 6.
Okay.
A privately done autopsy care about film. Anyway, this has happened, and a lot of people are very upset. And what started out as simple candlelight vigils and peaceful protests has escalated into something very, very bad with riots and
they burned
looting
down a Quick Trip.
They burnt down a Quick Trip on the first night of the riots and everything. Tear gas has been shot, rubber bullets, and all this stuff.
And there's been police who are responding in riot gear. Although now it's it's starting to kind of stabilize and get back to peaceful protesting. They have a curfew.
It was just announced today. We are recording this on the 18th right now. The 18th of August. It was just announced today that curfew is lifted because
Curfew is lifted.
last night it was not. Things went down apparently. I don't know exactly what happened, but things did go down.
Wow. Okay.
It's been the situation's bad, but I've learned in my years of living that whenever there's a bad situation, it is ultimately always made infinitely worse because it brings out the absolute worst in people.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that's really been bothering me about this is, man, I totally thought that we as a civilization and as a culture and as people have gotten a lot smarter than to be horribly racist. But no, that's still a thing apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, we've made a lot of, we make a lot of, like, here at Webster, like, Chain Link Improv, we both do that.
Chain Link Improv.
Chain Link Improv, there's a plug there. I know there's, like, a lot of, like, racist humor thrown about. But I thought, and it's not like we make fun of people because of their, it's just like, we have, like, characters that we portray that are horrible,
Honestly,
bigoted.
we're horribly offensive people, and really,
anyway,
I don't know why you're listening to this podcast.
What I was trying to go with that is, like, we make jokes about them, and I guess as far as I'm going, I'm getting really worked up, as you can tell. As far as I'm going, the reason I make jokes is, like, I make jokes because it's like, haha, isn't it funny how people used to be so stupid and they think like that? Good thing that doesn't exist anymore. But holy crap, it totally does, and it's really awful.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that the other part about this is, like, it just makes you realize how messed up the system is firsthand, because I realize that there's a lot of oppression that's still alive, and, like, a lot of racism is still alive, but I didn't, like, you don't fully get it until something like this happens and you realize that there are a lot of people who are angry. Like, I don't agree with rioting, but at the same time, I do think that, like, the whole situation, the whole reason everyone is angry, is valid, if that makes sense.
Here's the thing, though, and I've used this analogy several times in talking with friends and, like, family of mine about this, and I'm gonna use it here. I won't get too inside baseball here. I won't get, like, too into personal stuff. But I've unfortunately witnessed this sort of thing before, where someone was killed under, like, mysterious circumstances. Like, circumstances that were not, like, the reasoning behind it was not apparently clear. Like, we don't know exactly what happened. And I've witnessed two reactions to this. The first reaction I've witnessed, the reaction I've witnessed recently with Ferguson is, we're not going to tolerate this. We're gonna burn things down. We're gonna
burn down the Quick Trip.
We're gonna burn down the Quick Trip. We're gonna cause a ruckus. It's gonna be. We're gonna raise hell. And the other reaction I witnessed, the reaction I witnessed first time was just like, oh, that sucks. Hope it doesn't happen again. And the thing is, like, when you go to Target, when you go to Walmart, when you go something, and you buy a Blu-ray player, and you bring it home, and it doesn't work, or, like, you bring it home and you open the box and it's a toaster or something, like, you don't just sit there at home and, like, well, I bought it, I spent my money on it, doesn't work, oh well, that's just how it goes. You don't do that, but at the same time, you don't go to the place you bought it and shoot the cashier.
Throw it through the window.
You don't throw it through the window of the establishment you bought it, shoot the cashier, and burn the place down. What you do in that situation when you buy a Blu-ray player that doesn't work, or you open the box and it's a toaster, or whatever it may be, when you don't get what you want, what you do is you go to that establishment and you tell them, like, hey, I got this from you and it was not what I wanted. I'm unhappy with this. I'm not leaving until I get what I wanted, or until I get my money back so that I can get what I want. And unfortunately, like, what's happened is not that middle scenario. People, what they should do in this situation is, like, in my mind's eye, I'm sorry, I'm really worked up. What I feel people should do in this situation is, like, go to their city hall or go to whatever and like, hey, we don't like this. This is our city. This is our town.
Although, can I chime in quickly?
Go ahead.
Um,
Before I get mad
yes.
and throw a microphone.
It's okay. Calm down.
This situation sucks.
I will say though, the situation does suck, and I don't think that rioting is the answer. That being said, I kind of understand where they're coming from, in the sense that whenever you're oppressed and you're trying to fix an issue, it's hard to. Sometimes it's hard to like actually convince people that it's a problem.
Well,
So like, it's okay. But sometimes it feels like it's not enough to just go into your Congress or, go somewhere and talk to an official and say, hey, this is wrong. Because a lot of times the reaction that people will get is, well, we're working on it.
And that totally sucks.
And so I think that the way that I feel about these riots, I do not condone violence of any kind, really, and I don't condone the riots. That being said, okay, I don't want to say that I'm glad about them because I'm not, but I'm glad that this issue is getting attention because I think that it's important. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I think it's a very important issue that needs to be heard, and I think that it's something that needs to be brought out into the light, because this is not the only one that's the only time that a young African American male has been shot.
No.
Just because of that. And I mean, there are other factors that people keep bringing up that, well, maybe he robbed a store, like whatever. Sure, but there was no reason to actually kill this kid. And so I think that just 1 second.
I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
And so I think that the whole thing is that he's not the only one, but he's the only one who's getting national news right now because of the riots. Also, quickly, I want to throw in there, the members, the community in Ferguson, they are not really the ones who are rioting. It's other people who come from other places. The people of Ferguson overall want to protect their town, and so overall they're not the ones who are doing
But there has been a lot of bad apples, oh, hey, stuff's going down. Let's go over there and loot.
Yeah.
And let's do this and take advantage of the situation.
Exactly.
To inject some lightness into this, Paige, you were saying, you understand, how, even though it's not, the right thing to do is to go to Congress or whatever, blah, 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 and that sometimes doesn't work. It's kind of this is my attempt to inject lightness. I was watching James and Mike play today.
Yes.
And they were playing Batman for the NES.
Yes.
And they're, the game is super hard. It's a super hard game. I played it before. I own it. But anyway, the final boss of the game is the Joker. And the Joker has, if you're familiar with the Batman movie, he has this really long gun that he shoots down the Batplane with. This gun can take down the Batplane, and he's able to conjure up lightning to hit Batman. Well, in the game, he's got this gun that shoots down the Batplane, and he has lightning. And he's doing this, and he's a super hard boss battle and everything. And there's all the strategy and everything, and you get so frustrated trying to beat him and everything. When really, the best thing to do to beat the Joker at the end of the Batman is just go up and punch him a whole bunch. When people get, frustrated when they get, when they're on tilt, the most simple solution, it's easy to overlook it because you're so,
No, absolutely.
whatever.
And I don't know...
Batman for NES.
Batman for NES, sponsored by Totally Off Track.
Yeah.
Go
out and buy a game that was released 25 years ago.
Do it for us.
It was released 1 year after I was born. Go ahead.
Just do it for us, okay?
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
1 year before I was born.
So, wow.
Wow.
So long ago. Okay. Yeah, I think that that's a fairly good, overview of what's going on. Avery, I know that you're not our guest and that you're just sort of our audio engineer, but do you have any thoughts about this?
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be
Why can't
friends?
we be-
Avery says.
It's okay. I mean,
can't we be friends?
if
Copyright issues.
I'm glad that joke caught on. If I was Louis C.K., I would go out and I would do a stand-up set on how no matter what race or gender or ethnicity you are, you're most likely racist against black people, and I would totally kill. But I'm not Louis C.K., so I'm not. I've noticed this, though, that's like a lot of people are blaming, placing the blame and everything, and they're like, oh, it's like, you have racist, awful white people that are like, well, this wouldn't happen if blah, 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 blah. And then you have, like, racist other people like, well, this wouldn't happen if the white people, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, what's been happening is, like, there's, with any kind of anything, there's always a bad egg.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, what's happening is both sides, the police and the protesters and every single that's messed up in this big like shit pie is like being branded by their worst possible thing, and it's like so awful, and it's really frustrating. I have a very I work at a place that's like really there's like people from all across the world that work there, so I'm hearing it from every side of the spectrum.
Right.
And this is a true thing that happened. This is a real thing that happened.
Do it.
I live with a Vietnamese woman. She came here from Vietnam. She is full-fledged Vietnamese, full-blooded. This is a real thing that happened. I wish I was making this up. I come home from work and I'm getting ready to go out. And she asked me if I want dinner. And I'm like, no, thanks, I'm getting ready to go out. And she says, and this is an exact quote. This is a Vietnamese woman said this to me. Exact quote. Be careful out there, there's black people.
Sorry, that's really not funny.
But
it kind of is. Vern,
she
were there black people?
Yes, because there's black people everywhere. Because we're human beings. And because human beings are everywhere.
Well, she wasn't wrong. Maybe they were two separate thoughts. Be careful out there.
Be careful out there, semicolon, there's black people.
No. The semicolon would imply that that statement had anything to do with the first statement.
Oh, okay.
So it'd be like, be careful out there, period. Space, 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 space. There are black people out there. like as if, or like if you switch them around, like, hey Vern.
Yeah, what's up?
There are black people out there. Did you know that?
Oh.
Were you aware? I just wanted to let you know.
Out where?
Out there.
Oh, just out there in
there.
general, just out in space and time.
Yeah, in space and time and all
But
over.
the thing is, okay, like, I laughed and I told her, I'm like, well, there's black people everywhere. And she's like, yeah, but they're crazy right now.
Oh,
And I'm like, what the hell? What the
What
fell?
the fell?
And it's like, it boggled my mind because this woman that told me this is like full-fledged Vietnamese. And the way she gained entry from this into this country was, a soldier that was, over there and everything. But at one point there was a ton of people that were so virulently against Vietnamese and Asian people, and she's like had this like she had the same hardships and like prejudice and like people have been totally awful to her just based on her skin color.
Yeah.
And she's doing the exact same thing. Like, what the hell is this?
No, it happens through everything though. Like, okay, so you have the hardcore feminists who are sexist against men. Not cool. Like, they should know better, but they don't. You have people of different, like, of oppressed races oppressing other races for other reasons. Like, it does not make any sense in my head, but maybe that's because I guess that in saying this phrase, it usually implies that you are a racist, but I am not a racist. So, like, and I've never been an intentional racist. I am from a small town, so I do have some ignorance.
Well, okay, yeah,
But-
like, I'm from a very small, I'm from Johnson City, Illinois, and when I was in 8th grade, I moved to West Frankfort, Illinois, and that's like moving from a piece of fly shit to a piece of ant shit. It's like, it's just very small. Anyway, like, I was raised in, like, very small towns with a lot of
White
ignorant,
people.
backwards white people. And I'm not trying. I mean, this is totally honest. I never saw a, like, I didn't see a black person until I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
Like, I've been alive for 6 years before I was here. Granted, like, 2 of those, I couldn't remember anything. I had no long.
So maybe you had.
So maybe I had, but like, but the thing is, like, I saw one at 6 years old, and I didn't see a black person again until I was like 15.
Oh, dude.
Like, it was like super small town and everything, and I didn't realize, like, this is, I don't know, like, you know, I from a small town, I've heard a lot of awful things about all different kinds of people. And eventually I moved out of small town. I lived in Florida for a year. And I lived in Florida, and I dealt with, I was around every single culture, race, gender, everything ever. I worked at a giant theme park in which I experienced every single thing. We had a part of our...
Was it a mouse-themed?
It was a mouse-owned theme park.
Okay.
And there was one part of the theme park that embraced every single culture in the entire world.
Right.
And I realized, like, oh my God, wow, like, it was really eye-opening for me, because it was like, it'd be like, oh, what's a good analogy? It'd be like, I don't know, like living your whole life in a house with hardwood floor and like making jokes about carpet, and then you go to a store that sells nothing but carpet, and you're like, oh my God, wow, I didn't realize this is a real thing.
Yeah.
And it was like really crazy to me. And since then, like, I learned, like, wow, you should really not be an awful person and say awful things, because, like, the things you make jokes about do exist, in case, you know,
No, like, and whenever I went to college, that was my moment of eye-opening, because, you know, small town, majority white people, and we'd make jokes because it didn't matter, I guess. And, well, I mean, it mattered, but, like, we didn't think it mattered because no one was there to tell us we were wrong. And so, like, I got to college, and I became very aware that I couldn't say certain things anymore, and that I needed to stop. It's crazy. Like, it's like, you realize, oh, I don't actually want to hurt anyone's feelings. I don't want to feel that way.
Precisely, yeah.
Like...
Because it totally... I don't know if you guys know this or not, and you guys listening at home, but I've experienced this. It really sucks to hurt someone's feelings and to realize you've done that.
Yeah.
That's like you feel
For
really...
For example, Vern.
Yeah?
Your nose is stupid. I feel really bad about that.
I mean, in your defense, it is, but that still hurt.
I'm kidding.
I mean, it doesn't work, so I mean...
I like your nose.
Oh, thank you.
For those of you who can't see him at home, Vern has a very nice nose.
And but seriously though, my nose legitimately is stupid. Like I've not been able to smell since I was like 5 years old.
What a weirdo.
Anyway, but the thing is, it's just been boggling my mind, because like St. Louis we're not New York, we're not Los Angeles, but we're a pretty big place. Like I know in my almost 1 year of living here, I've experienced all people from all sorts of different walks of life and all this stuff, and. So I would think, like, you would, like, because you live in a cornucopia, that you see, like, your experience, like, all this stuff, and...
I get you, man.
I don't know,
but, alright.
I guess if you lived here your whole life, you've just not, I don't know, whatever. If you've been here, I guess you haven't not had your eyes open because you're used to it or something.
Well, and if you live here, there's a lot of racial tension in St. Louis as well, anyway. I don't know if you knew that, but, like, that's a real thing.
Well, I'm sorry, I got a good dose of that this last couple weeks.
Right, I mean, right. But, I mean, like, it's
like
always
hit me like
been,
a rubber bullet right in the face.
It's always been, like, a weird divide between the races here. I'm not really sure why or how, but that's just something that's always been. But... okay, so I'm going to move that we have covered the Ferguson stuff long enough, and we can move on to some slightly nicer topics.
Just in closing...
maybe one more sad one, but...
Just in closing, as far as the Ferguson stuff goes, don't be horrible assholes to people. Be good to each other.
Be friends.
And...
Why can't we be friends?
And treat each other like...
Trademark.
Human beings.
Avery.
Because that's what we all freaking are.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Just don't be shitty people.
Don't be shitty people.
Everyone will get along a lot better.
If you learn anything from our podcast, learn that one, Avery's wonderful, and two, don't be a shitty person.
If you learn anything from life, learn that
shitty
Avery's a good guy, and don't be a shitty person.
Don't be a shitty person. It's really shitty of you.
You should learn don't be a shitty person before you learn, like, how to breathe.
Yeah, no, that's real. Like you're sitting there like as a baby, just came out of your mom's vagina, and like you haven't started breathing yet because that's sometimes a thing.
Freshly jellied.
Freshly gelled.
Yeah.
In that sweet mama vag gel.
Ugh.
And yeah, I know. Do y'all have that mental picture?
Still,
is it
umbilical cord
resonating?
still attached.
Umbilical cord still attached, and before the doctor spanks
before the
you,
doctor applies this really rough towel that grades your skin, and
he's
before
like,
he spanks you,
"Hey, don't be a shitty baby."
like
you shitty baby.
He stares you right into your eye. He stares right into your eyes that are still closed because the bright lights are too much for your small fragile body at that point. And he could like drop you right there and just end your short existence, right? But he just stares you right in your closed like
Baby.
jello like baby eyelids, and he's like, "Hey, when you're in this life, don't be a shitty person."
Yeah. And then he like
spank,
and then you spank.
Oh my god.
Okay, that was good. I appreciated that one.
Yes.
All right.
Don't be shitty.
Okay, so
Avery's a good guy.
I'm gonna quickly. Yeah, it's okay, Avery. Don't die.
No, Avery's a good guy. Don't die.
Oh
Avery.
no.
Yeah.
Avery's a good guy.
Yeah.
Semicolon. Don't die.
Don't die.
Um.
Semicolon. They're black.
Semicolon. There are black people. Also, quickly, if we have offended anyone by using the term black person,
sorry.
We're sorry. I know
that's a legitimate sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
not
a real
trying to be
sorry.
an asshole and then be like, oh, sorry. I'm
no,
like,
but like,
legitimately.
yeah, we're really sorry because
I'm worked up right now.
It's okay, Vern. I do understand that there are some people who prefer the term African American. I try to do that. Sometimes I forget. This is one of those times. So sorry about that. Alright, and then, okay, one more sad thing, and then we can go on to the lighter things, I guess. But Robin Williams died.
Yeah.
Of alleged suicide.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. Like, I'm bummed. Not really because I cared all that much about Robin Williams himself. I mean, don't get me wrong, childhood, I liked him. I have always liked Robin Williams, but mostly because he's a comedian, and that's sort of that's where a lot of my friends are going. That's where I would eventually like to go, kind of. I like funny people, and so whenever I see like a successful funny person allegedly kill themselves, that kind of puts a damper on my week, because that means that it can happen to anyone. And so, thoughts on that, Vern?
It's been a real bummer.
Week.
It's been a real bummer for multiple reasons. First off, on a very shallow, superficial note, it's a bummer for me because the very last thing I watched Robin Williams in was Popeye. I watched Popeye for the first time, and I was like, "Oh my god, what happened here?"
What is it?
I mean, and it's like a movie starring Robin Williams, and the music was done by Harry Nilsson, and it was directed by Robert Altman. How could this be bad? But it was.
It was.
But so that was this very. I too was about Robin Williams passed away, not because I was a huge like Robin Williams like fanboy. I'm not. I could
neutral he's good.
I was neutral, leaning. Yeah, he's all right. I was neutral, leaning. Yeah, he's all right on Robin Williams. I think he was very talented. I think he was very gifted. Also, this is a very shallow, superficial too. I feel like my Robin Williams impersonation is now inappropriate.
It will be for a little while.
Yeah, so that's a bummer for me. But whatever. Anyway, it's been a bummer, and it's been a bummer for me for those two shallow reasons, but also because, and I feel like this happens with literally every celebrity ever that passes away, and it's just like. Yeah, like, it happened with, with Robin Williams. It happened with MJ. It's happened with several. It's like, it's always X was a good celebrity that was beloved because of this. but they died because of this.
Yeah.
And as a result, people get remembered for the thing they don't want to be remembered for, and that was their dying.
Or like their addictions or their depression.
And and that's really awful. Like, I've already seen specials on TV. I made a joke about it the other day about, like, Robin Williams is, he's had so many films and movies and TV performances and all this stuff under his belt. But, like, that's getting, like, gleaned over and covered to cover, like, the juicy stuff that, it was allegedly suicide. He allegedly had this. He allegedly... And
He had been an alcoholic.
Yeah,
He had depression. He had been trying to hide all of this stuff from his family, and now it's out.
Here's 90 minutes of it.
Here's 60 minutes.
90 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever. That sucks, because it's just like kicking. I feel like it's kicking someone like when they're down. And it's just, I mean, we have all got our things that we're not proud of. We all got things like, that we're not cool with. And, like, I don't want to, whenever I ultimately meet my demise, I don't want to be remembered for the fact that I was constantly late. Like, I don't remembered for the fact that I'm a total prick to be around sometimes. But, and granted, none of that's that too juicy, I don't guess. But but it just sucks that it happens. And the other thing too is just like, it really sucks that Robin Williams was, he'd been around a while. He was fairly old, and he had all this success, and he was beloved the world over, and all this stuff. And yet at the end, it still wasn't, it still wasn't enough to shake off the
depression.
And that really sucks.
So that's really
disheartening.
It's really upsetting, and like, I guess that I feel a little selfish about it too, because it's like of course I'm sad for Robin Williams and his family, and like that's really bad. But on a more selfish note, like, I felt really bad about it just because like it made that sort of thing a reality. Not that it was so far and alienated away from my life anyway, but like, it's just so strange to know that there are people out there like him who are so talented and so funny and make so many people happy who still feel inadequate. So with that in mind, I'm going to try to spin this positively.
Heyo.
With that in mind, like, realize that even if you have a friend who's doing really well and like who is really positive and really funny and whatever, that they may still be like hurting. So make sure that you take care of your friends, because it's important.
It all circles back to don't be shitty people.
Don't be shitty people.
Just
don't do it.
Just,
also,
sadness is a real thing, unfortunately.
Yeah. And if you are feeling sadness and worry and whatnot, one, I would direct you to the suicide hotline, which I actually don't have the number up right now.
It's 1-800-SUICIDE, but...
Is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, it's 1-800-SUICIDE. But if you want to not talk to a professional person, you can always email totallyOffTrack at totallyOffTrack@gmail.com.
Yeah, wow. How about that for a weird-ass plug?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That was so inappropriate.
That was real, wow. If you're feeling sad, listen to the song Do You Realize by the Flaming Lips, and go out and get some ice cream, unless you're lactose intolerant, and then find something... Sherbet. And realize that all things must pass and nothing will stay forever. And pull yourself out. I've done it. You can do it too.
I've done it.
And maybe...
Vern and I have done it.
Maybe...
Not like that, though.
I mean, no.
No.
But, I mean, you might... And if you are sad right now, just think. You might be sad right now, but you maybe pull yourself out of it. You could go on host a podcast.
You could.
And you get
with
to hang
a
out,
really awesome person.
and you get to hang out with Avery. So I mean,
and Avery, like,
Avery is the
what
light
more?
at the end of the tunnel.
Avery is the light at the end of the tunnel.
How
All
can
right.
anyone be sad with Avery out in the world?
So let's talk about more of like the happier things.
All right, we're sorry about the bummers. Bummer
Yeah,
stuff's gone.
bummers away.
Don't be shitty people.
Don't be shitty people. Avery
Avery's a good
is
guy.
the best. He's a good guy. Also, there are black people out there.
There are
so-
black. Also, there. Just to let you guys know, there are.
There are black.
There are
people
black
out
people
there.
out there.
So just wanted to let you know that. So okay, another update on my life. I
Oh.
broke a toe.
Paige broke a toe.
I broke a toe, and in 22 years, it's my first broken bone ever.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
seriously. I drink a lot of milk, so I have strong bones. Also, I'm careful. So this.
That wasn't as funny as I made it seem.
I know it really wasn't, but that's fine. No osteoporosis for this person. But yeah, I broke my toe, my big toe on my left foot, and it's because I slammed a door into my foot. Ouch. I was very excited about using the bathroom, so that was that.
And who wouldn't be?
And who wouldn't be, really? And I remember that I said that I had a story, and now I cannot, for the life of me, remember the story.
Nothing at
That
all.
I was-
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Oh, I'm so upset. Let me think. Oh, I went to camp with this broken toe without realizing that it was broken.
Oh.
And, because I didn't get... Oh, no! Just kidding. That had nothing to do with anything. I mean, I did use my toe while it was
Can we
broken.
ask just which toe on which foot?
It was the big toe on my left foot.
Oh.
Yeah.
The
I think
big
I
one.
said that. But
I
yeah.
don't know.
Big toe, left foot. Ouch. No, I remember my story now.
Oh, we got story time. It's
So I
time
went
for a
to-
story.
So I went to urgent care to
For your
figure it
broken
out
toe?
for my broken
Okay.
toe because I was not sure if it was broken or not at that point. And so I get into urgent care, and they're actually really great. They were awesome. Whatever. They got in, did the X-ray.
Urgentcare@gmail.com.
Probably not, but but go ahead and try it. But yeah, so they were great. It was awesome. Got in, took that X-ray, sat in an office for one of those hospital-esque or doctors'
Waiting
rooms.
rooms?
Not
Okay.
a waiting room, but like a doctor's
Doctor's
room.
office, okay.
Yeah. For like 45 minutes or so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I think they had to process the X-rays, but it didn't matter what they were doing. It's just that they were doing things. And then I had a doctor come in, and he had not been the doctor who originally came in and was talking to me, but he came in and he touched it lightly and he said, "This toe is broken," and I was just like, okay. And he said, "Do you work?" And I said, "Yeah, I do work." And he asked me what I did, and I said, "Oh, I'm an RA. I basically I do rounds."
You didn't tell him that you hosted a comedy podcast.
I did not. I
Oh.
should have. I missed opportunity.
Because that's whenever I fill out a resume and that's previous job experience, I always put
hosted
that
a
for.
podcast.
Yeah, I
yes.
bet, yeah.
So and I told him I deal with emergency situations on campus. I handle residents. I go on rounds. I do paperwork, put on programs, things like that. And I just told him all of this, and he said, "Oh, well, you have to take a week off of work." And I laughed in his face, like most people would have been like, "Oh, a week off work," but to me, he was just like, "Actually, could you be the doctor? Could you
Oh,
say,
I'm the
Paige,
doctor."
you need to take a week off work?"
All right. Okay.
That's your line.
Okay. Okay. I'm the doctor. Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh yes, Paige. I've been looking at the lab results here. You have a broken toe. You need to take a week off of work.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Paige. Also, I was looking at the lab results. You have emphysema.
Yeah, that was how it went. Except I don't have emphysema. Yeah, so I laughed at him, and the guy looked at me like I was crazy, which, to be fair, I just laughed in his face. And I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." And he said, "Oh, really? I could write you a thing."
I'll make you take a week
I'll-
off work.
No, yeah, he was like, "I'll write you a doctor." So I was like, No, you don't understand. I cannot do that. And And it was great. And then a second doctor came in shortly after he left.
Second doctor.
And he was just like,
Can I be second doctor?
maybe,
Okay.
but you know what? I want you to finish this story.
Okay.
Go on, be second doctor. What did second doctor say?
Okay. This is.
I'll reply as
okay.
myself.
This is assuming where I'm. I could make it so that you have to take a week off work. You know what?
No, nope, not gonna happen. Not
Okay.
gonna do it.
Let me get my assistant, second doctor, in.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Good.
Paige,
Yes, second doctor.
I'm your second doctor. First doctor told me that you had broken your toe.
Yep,
Uh,
that's true.
You also are pregnant.
No, they asked me if I was pregnant before I took the X-ray.
Oh, we already
And
knew
I'm
that
not.
you were pregnant. And you're not. Oh, sorry, I had the wrong file here. Okay, there's the right file. Paige, you have a broken toe, and also, you were a crack baby?
I was a crack baby. Ding, 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 second doctor. Ding, ding, ding. You won the prize.
Oh, yes, I won a prize.
The prize is give me a boot for my broken toe
All those
for
years
$20.
at medical school finally have paid off. Here's your, I'm so happy, here's a boot.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave now.
And then I left. And then I paid.
Paige, where'd you go?
And then I left and I
First
paid.
doctor.
That's the worst.
Paige, can we please have, in a future episode of Totally Off Track, can we please have Paige's doctor on as a guest?
Yes.
Can we?
Happily.
Can we have to, whenever we're talking about something medical related?
I'll call him up.
Okay.
I'll be like, urgent care doctor. I'll email him at urgentcare@gmail.com.
Oh, I just got an email. I just got an email.
So yeah, it was great. And I think I'm the only person in existence who's like, nah, I know that you're a doctor and you could like legally.
For real though, what did the second doctor say?
Oh, the second doctor came in and he was like, yeah, so your toe's broken, and you know, you'll probably be fine. You can like walk on it, but I'd suggest use crutches for a couple of days.
Crutches?
I was like, thanks, second doctor. You are much more realistic. And then
I heard that.
and then
That's
he,
first doctor, by the way.
and then he actually gave me a boot for $20 and then I left.
Oh, sweet.
It was great. It was a really good time. I know that you all were very invested in that story.
I mean, I think,
And then I found $50.
Oh, whoa! True story, I found $26 today in my laundry.
That's awesome.
That's a high
That's
five.
the best. Yeah, we just high-fived. In case you couldn't sense it.
But in case you weren't riveted by that story, I think Paige and Vern's Masterpiece Theater of Paige breaking her toe, I think that won you over.
Vern, have you had any interesting interactions recently?
Interesting interactions?
With like with who, and also can we improvise it instead of you telling us the story?
Well, God, if we're going to improvise it. Let's see here, interesting interactions. Oh, Paige, I met your doctor the other day. You be me and I'll be Paige's doctor.
Okay.
No,
Done.
No, things have been kind of quiet for me. I was sick, but now I'm not. I went and saw Paige's doctor. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dizzy. And he's like, you need to take one of these. Here's your proof. And I'm like, thank you, Paige's doctor. He's like, I know, why am I seeing you? Or why are you seeing me? I'm like, because I heard you're good from Paige. But yeah.
Even though she didn't take any of your advice.
Yeah, even though she didn't take any of your advice, she still recommended you wholeheartedly. No, I was sick, but now I'm not. I saw the Angry Video Game Nerd movie.
Good.
That was cool.
That's cute.
Someone dressed up in full regalia. And why? If you're familiar with Angry Video Game Nerd, if you're not familiar with Angry Video Game Nerd, he just wears like white shirt and khaki pants. But every once in a while, like he'll have like a boss battle or something, and he'll like put like a Nintendo Power Pad on his back and like have a Super Scope and like have a little like Mattel like light gun on your head.
Yes.
And this guy showed up in full, like he had the Power Pad on his back. And
Yes.
The NES. I can't remember. It was a thing you wore on your head, so you could shoot and like duck hunt by saying fire. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah,
Was
fire,
it Hey You
fire.
Pikachu?
Yeah, it was Hey You Pikachu. No, it was Hey You Pikachu. No, I don't know. I saw that. It was fun.
Fun times.
Other than that, things have been. I've been eating a lot of ice cream.
Yeah, that's real.
Other than that,
Yeah, we can tell. I'm kidding. We can't, Vern. I'm sorry. See, I feel bad for hurting his feelings.
Don't
be
shitty
shitty people.
For crying out loud.
Oh my God.
Avery's a good guy.
Hey, you, Joe.
Hey, you.
Hey. Stop that.
Hey,
you
we see
know,
you being shitty.
We can see you being shitty in the future.
We can
Stop
see
doing
it.
that.
We can see it presently.
Hey.
It's
Stop
weird
that.
because we record these before
In the past.
but we're seeing you right now.
You're listening to us in the past.
Yes.
You just meld your shitty mind on that
Mhm.
and realize that you should not be shitty.
That's right. I prescribe you to not be shitty. As Paige's doctor, you should
Vern,
take my advice.
you are so excited about this
I
character.
don't know why I love the character of Paige's doctor, but I love the character of Paige's doctor.
It's good news.
Here's his backstory. He went to medical school,
Okay.
and at one point you became his patient.
Yes. Is
The
that
end. That's it. That's it. Also, he has an assistant named Second Doctor.
He's been with him all his years.
He's kind of like a sidekick, I guess. Second Doctor.
And Second Doctor's backstory is
He also went to medical school.
My name is Jerry. No, you're Second Doctor.
Oh, I'm Second Doctor now?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like the Second Doctor is like, my name is Jerry.
Oh, okay.
And
gotcha.
First Doctor is like, or Paige's Doctor is like,
Paige's doctor named Paige's doctor.
No, your name is Second Doctor
That's
now.
right.
You forget your former life.
Oh
no!
Oh God!
Oh God!
Those church bells are getting louder.
I don't want babies.
It's St. Mark's.
Oh.
Okay, so we just had a church break into the studio here.
Break into the studio.
So I look like I'm flying solo right now.
Yeah. Vern. Stall.
Stall. Okay, stall. All right. So, Paige's doctor. How did you first come about treating Paige? Well, she came in and she had a broken toe. I did not realize it until I x-rayed her. And it was, sure enough, broken. Wow, that's a great story, Paige's doctor. Man, I sure wish Paige was here right now because I'm not thinking of anything to say. Not thinking of anything to say? That could be early onset Alzheimer's. Also, I don't know what accent I have. I don't know what accent you have either. It kind of sounds like my Robin Williams impression, but also my Native American Indian impression as well. I know exactly what you're talking about. Me want 'em, you'll want 'em. Reservations.
Oh
my God, Paige! Oh my God.
I'm back.
I see Paige's doctor.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that guy's here?
This is gonna be like the most random, like thrown together cornucopia of a podcast ever. We've got like
We
this.
started with the Ferguson
like this
riots,
Ferguson
and now
riots
we're on
and this
Paige's doctor.
Idiotic, like. Wow,
know.
we're this.
You know, I'm excited to listen to this podcast
You're
because
really-
I have no idea what's coming.
You're really getting your off-trackness. In
Yeah,
this.
you're getting your
off track
full- totally off track.
This
experience.
is a train wreck.
Oh, when you say that the train went totally off track. Okay. Jacob would be proud.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
I feel like that sucked all the comedy out of the podcast.
I feel like that's been sucking all the
I
comedy
feel like
out.
that is a big vacuum right there.
I want to throw a shout out to our good friend Jalen, who will probably be on this podcast at some point.
I hope.
We hope. Jalen, get on it.
Get your
Jalen.
ass on this podcast.
But yeah,
Arrested you too.
hopefully she'll be here. But in the meantime, she made T-shirts for us, which we'll explain how and when to get those. Not this week.
Hi-yo.
So that's interesting. If you're interested in those, let's see. Shout out to Avery, of course, for being Avery.
Avery's a great guy.
Shout out to our would-be guest Stitzel, our friend Ben Stitzel.
You don't even have to be on the podcast to get a shout
You
out.
don't even have to be on the podcast.
You just phone it in.
You know,
Literally.
a big shout out to President Obama. Thanks, Obama.
Big shout out to Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam, Brosemite Sam.
Brosemite Sam,
his
Paige's
best
doctor.
friend. My doctor.
Second doctor.
Second doctor.
Just,
What are we talking about?
shout out to totally off track air conditioner.
Yeah, studio air conditioner.
Studio air conditioner.
Even our new studio has an air conditioner,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
5 episodes in, and we got all our ad
Are we on
revenue.
5? I thought we were on 6, 7. Isn't this 7?
Yeah, but on the 5th episode, all of our ad revenue, we got a new studio.
Right. Yeah, we got a new studio. It's pretty
Jeez,
spacious.
Paige, did you
in
break
here.
your brain too?
I did. I feel like there are other things that we should be talking about, but I am so tired.
It's late.
No,
I don't.
I guess are we wrapping things up? Is that
I
what we're
think
doing
so,
right now?
we
Okay.
can.
I guess we can.
let's. How long do we have?
How are we doing here?
What are we doing, Avery? How are we doing, Avery?
I don't know.
Okay, wait.
That's looking.
You know
Oh.
what? Actually, this is a great time to wrap up. Let's
Okay,
wrap it up.
perfect. This is
We
good.
have actually been talking for an hour.
How
Wow.
about that?
Look
Wow.
at us. Go us. All right. So for me, my name is Paige Andrews Johnson, if you haven't heard. And I will sometimes update a blog on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's renaissancepeople.wordpress.com. You can also find me on the Twitter. That's at Tipping Teapots. I think there's an underscore in that somewhere, like tipping_teapots. I really honestly should probably learn my Twitter handle. I can be found on the Tumblrs. Come and find me. Good
Try.
luck.
Just try. Just
Find
try
me.
to find her.
Just try to find me.
He's the Waldo of Tumblr.
We at Totally Off Track have a Facebook page. Please Facebook message us. We love you. We're so lonely. Please send us emails through Gmail. So totallyofftrack@gmail.com. We do check those. Not frequently, but
It does get checked.
You know, we will check them more frequently if you decide to send us an email.
If we
about
had
it.
anything worth checking.
Also, if you use the Twitter, you should talk about us on the Twitter. You should share our videos. Well, our voice COs. And
we're on YouTube now.
We're on YouTube now.
And you can share that.
One day we'll be on iTunes. It's a dream. Yeah, so share our videos that are actually just our voices. Tweet about us, hashtag TOT or hashtag Totally Off Track, whichever one you like. Tweet at us, although I'd much rather you use the hashtag so that more people see it. I think that's it for me. What about you? What are you doing? What are you doing with your mouth?
I was trying to whisper something.
Okay.
No,
Try it again. Hang on. Excuse us.
Whisper.
Whisper. Oh, right. We have a Tumblr.
We have a Tumblr?
We do have a Tumblr.
Alright, I just want
Our
to make that joke
Tumblr-
again.
I'm glad that you remembered that we had a Tumblr so that you could pretend to forget that we had a Tumblr. Our Tumblr is totallyofftrack.tumblr.com. Or, something like that. Find it. I don't care.
And as far as I go, the usual, I too have a Twitter. It's at Varnyo, VARNYO. I have a YouTube, which is Vernyo, VERNYO, and another YouTube, which is Oi Vern, which is kind of like Vernyo, but the letters mixed up, but it also kind of sounds like Oy vey, like a Jewish exclamatory.
You
I try.
I make jokes on Facebook
They're
and
pretty funny.
in real life, and that's it for me. And did you have anything?
Oh, yes, I did. I'm Paige's doctor. If you have any questions related to any kind of medical problems you might be experiencing right now, you can email me at urgentcare@gmail.com. And
I will give you a week off work.
And I will give you a week off work. I am a licensed medical doctor. And you have a broken toe. If you're listening to this, you have a broken toe. Right about now.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just set up second doctor to
that
break your
sounded
toes.
like it hurt audience
Yeah.
members.
Second doctor is good at breaking people's toes. You see, I run this racket where I have second doctor break people's toes. and then I take care of them and sell them boots for $20.
You know, that's strange. That's just strange.
You should subscribe to my YouTube because at some point there will be a Paige's Doctor video. I'm sure there will. Because I really enjoy Paige's Doctor right now.
Oh,
Anyway, I guess we're gonna quit. We're gonna spare you guys any more of this nonsense.
Okay. On first.
Paige is gonna yawn. For Paige, for Avery, for myself, for Paige's Doctor, for all of us here, for NPR, for the ghost of Willie Nelson and Johnny
the joint
Cash.
Ghosts.
For Dan Fenton.
Dan Fenton being Dan Fenton.
Because he was a character. For all of us here, you guys have a lovely week. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We really enjoy doing this podcast for you guys.
Sorry, we missed.
We're sorry. We're going to be better. We're going to be better podcast for you guys at home, and we're going to give you more quality listening.
We're going to stop being shitty people.
We're going to stop being shitty people, and you know what? You should stop being shitty people too.
Don't be
shitty people.
Don't be shitty people. All right. Also, there are black people.
Also, there are black people. So be
also,
careful.
Avery's the best. Thanks,
Avery's the
Avery.
best.
You're the best.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Talk to your doctor.
I was like seeing Avery's reaction at the very end because it makes me feel like we've just done a full hour of like nonsense, like utter fucking shit. He's just like every time I look over, he's like, "Oh my god, why am I doing this?"
There was a moment where I looked over and I'm like, "Yeah, we definitely lost Avery," because you were like just like whatever. and then I was like, "Oh, well, we got Avery back."
I also like I love it because you're like. It's kind of like you sit over there in a moral quandary about like, what am I doing to the world? Is this ethical that I record for them? If I didn't record for them, would other people do it? Good.